Welcome to the video. If you're a consumer looking to get vinyl put on your car, color change vinyl, it's become very popular.
Absolutely.
And you might have some questions not knowing much about it. So I'm here with Justin Pate. We're gonna talk about everything that you need to know about vinyl before you go get it done on your car.
Absolutely, let's get to it.
So there's different types of vinyls. It's not like one vinyl. I mean, there's lots of different brands and companies that are making vinyl products.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, one thing we've been saying on the Wrap Institute lately is that color change vinyl is like people. Everyone's kind of the same, but everyone's a little bit different. So you have to appreciate the differences. And if you appreciate the differences, you're gonna have a good time. They're all mostly PVC, which means that the material, once you stretch it, it shrinks, right? So it's very flexible, but it has a kind of a price for that flexibility that if you take it too far, it shrinks, and that's why you might have lifting. But because it's cast, it has high flexibility, high durability, and then you can just do a wide range of colors. And most of the brands you get out there, the adhesive is really nice today on a lot of brands. It used to be really different, like cavemen versus modern day people. It used to be super high tech where the material is very difficult to put on, and there's some manufacturers that are much better than others, so there's really big difference between the brands. But now with technology and stuff like that, a lot of brands have become pretty friendly to install, where they slide, they glide, and they become much more user-friendly in terms of the installers, but also more efficient. So now instead of taking 5 to 6 days to do a color change wrap, you can get them done in 2, which is better for the consumer because you don't have to wait, 1 or 2 weeks before you get your car done.
If I'm a consumer and calling different shops, like how do I pick a brand? That's so hard.
People choose a brand they know. 3M is a very popular brand, so people kind of choose 3M by name. Doesn't mean they're necessarily the best wrapping film for that particular color. So what you have to do is try to find a shop that's certified. I think that helps you kind of weed through ones who are kind of pushing cheap or bad film, but then be open to looking at 4 or 5 different brands. Do keep in mind that sometimes the prettier the color, the worse it gets. So do listen to the wrap shop if they're good when they say, yes, that color looks good, but it might not go on very good. So as a consumer, be educated, but also listen to the experts.
I know this is going to vary, but how long typical does film last? You said obviously it's going to last a little bit longer on the side panels versus the top panels that are getting hit by the sun.
It really varies. A lot of factors kind of go into how long a wrap lasts, and that would be where you live, right? A lot of manufacturers break their warranty up into zones. So let's say if you're in Montana or you're in Northern America, you don't have a lot of UV, it's not super hot, you don't have a lot of salt air. So the durability up there is higher, but let's say if you're in Texas or you're in Arizona or Florida, or if you're in Australia, for example, then that's a totally different ballgame where there's more UV, there's more wear and tear on the car, so then you're gonna have a less of a warranty. So where you live is a factor, but then also how you maintain it. And one big thing I highly recommend is getting a ceramic coating put on your wrap, and that's a special product that you put on top of the wrap. It's actually glass, so in that way it's kind of almost like a very thin force field in your car that has hydrophobicity, where a lot of the chemicals will slide off the car, and also protects it in some ways from scratches, kind of creates that lower point. But the main thing is it's almost like suntan lotion on, where that UV that we're talking about, it's like suntan lotion for your wrap.
Okay.
So it keeps the good stuff in the vinyl, but also protects it. So it's a really cool thing. So ceramic coating is a big one that actually helps with that long-term durability.
Extends the life.
It does, no doubt. I mean, they're no different like if you think you go to the beach, and if you don't put suntan lotion on, you're gonna get wrinkly and old after a while. Well, your vinyl is like skin. A lot of people even call it skin for wraps.
Yeah.
So the idea is that you do want to make sure you take care of it, wash it on a regular basis. And again, the manufacturer or the installers should give you a program of maybe certain products to put on. So maintenance is a big one, but also keep in mind, you should also take it off within warranty. No different than, let's say, your iPhone at a certain point is not going to work when it's 3 or 4 years old. The idea is that your wrap, once it hits that warranty, take it off.
Take it off.
Because if you don't take it off, you're gonna go south pretty quick, and that's gonna make it really hard to remove. And if the wrap shop is, realistic, they're gonna have to take off the whole wrap. That's gonna cost you money.
Within the warranty period, you can take it off in one piece.
100%.
But when it gets too dried out, it starts to flake off, and then that just takes that much longer to take off. And then I've seen some even like fuse to the clear coat where it's not coming off anymore.
And you don't want to be in that situation. Absolutely. It's true with anything. So again, know the product, what it can do and what it can't do. And so what does a color change wrap do? Well, it gives you customization, protects the original paint from scratches and UV damage. Is it as durable and as beneficial as PPF? And the answer is no. PPF is, we'll say 8 mil thick for the most part. Yep. And it's a polyurethane film, so it's kind of rubberized. So it's really absorbent for rock chips. Yep. This is a PVC film, so it's a different feel, different fabric, and it's also around 4 mil thick. So because of that thinness, half, okay, and it's also not as rubbery and soft, it doesn't absorb rock chips as much. It does protect it from some rock chips, but especially in the winter, when the vinyl gets cold, it can become fragile. So it does protect it 60% compared to PU film. But the thing is, what's cool about color change from PVC is much more conformable, and it's dry proof. And that's the biggest thing. So for the most part now, PPF is slowly starting to come dry apply, but for now, this is quick and easy. So if you have a good crew of installers, they can do a standard color change wrap in a car in about a day, day and a half. Or if you're doing the full coverage PPF install, that's 3 to 5 days, totally different, and it's also a higher cost.
When you're doing a full color change, I mean, you're changing the whole car. Like, how often are you seeing people do door jams and stuff? Because that's a whole different ballgame when you start doing door jams versus just the exterior. Do you even recommend doing door jams?
In the workshop, I say, okay, for color change, there's 4 layers, right? There's what we call fleet. And fleet is, let's say, DHL, is wrapping cars for a long time. So they would take a white van, wrap it yellow, and then put some red cut vinyl on top. And in between the gaps, you could see white. They didn't wrap the material too far, just clean, tight, done. Then there's what's called a standard color change wrap, where you wrap in everything where you can't see the original color car from the outside with everything closed. Then you have door jams. Then you have all the sides of doors and stuff like that. That's 3 and 4, right? There's some you can do in pieces, and some people take the entire door off so you can wrap the inside of the car seamless. So I liken that to an airplane. You know, so I live in Amsterdam, and I fly Delta a lot. So when I get on a Delta plane, I have 4 options, right? I have economy comfort, business class, and first class. How do I choose my seat? Price, right? So basically that's the answer. So, you know, every customer wants door jams wrapped. If they get their car, let's say with this KPMF pink, of course you want your door jams wrapped. But that, you have to understand, to wrap the door jams, it takes longer to wrap the door jams than the entire outside of the car.
So it can be almost double the price. So.
Oh, it should be. That's the thing. So let's say a standard color change price, I say it's between, let's say, $3,000 and $4,500 for a standard color change, right? But if you want door jams and you want the whole sides of doors, you want that, I would say that begins at 10 and up. If you feel like you have that, you want that customization, you want that feel of full transformation, go for it.
And this is good to know too, because when we actually wrap the car, there's different ways to do it. Now we can take off door handles, trim pieces, headlights, badges, all this stuff that takes time. But there's ways around that. So like, you don't have to take a door handle off, but you're gonna have some seams.
Sure.
And it's not going to look 100% like a painted car. It's still temporary, and I guess it depends on if you're okay with seeing those seams or not. What type of install do you want?
Yeah, and I think that's also, you know, knowing, you know, just so you understand that you're not getting something that's paint, you're getting a wrap.
Yeah.
Embrace that. We did a Ferrari F8 Tributo, all right? The original car was Ferrari red, but the customer didn't want to pay for door jams. But he wanted a black satin and a white satin wrap. But my partner Reiner, who did the wrap, said, how about some red pinstripes on the outside? So you have to keep in mind that that front bumper that looks like 2 pieces is actually 14. That mirror is a 16-piece mirror because it's black, white, black with red pinstripes. So we actually wrap that mirror in multiple pieces, but it looks better. And that's the beauty of it, is you can actually do multiple colors right now, and to paint that would take forever, but to wrap that is actually quicker, and you're getting a better customized product. So for those of you consumers out there, if you're interested in getting a pink wrap, don't just get a pink wrap. Get a pink wrap with carbon stripes or carbon highlights, because if you start doing the two-tone, not only is it cool custom, but you're also making the install process easier, and you get more stuff added without putting pressure on wrap, and I think for me it's a big win.
You know, if you're gonna go from like a white to a regular blue, you're kind of almost better off just going to find a blue car, right?
Can be, yeah.
But like matte films, this is something that is very expensive to do if you're gonna color change a car and do a matte paint. One, there's a lot of things with matte paint that you don't want to do. You can't polish it. If it scratches or anything, you can't really fix that. So a great option is to do a matte film and put that on there, and it comes in all kinds of different colors, and it's a lot easier to maintain. And if something happens, like the bumper, you get rock chips on the front of the bumper and everything, and you want to change that out after a year to look better, you can take that bumper off and put that film back on pretty easily. Risk of damage. That's kind of a fear a little bit. It's a giant sticker that's sticking on your car. Is there a risk when you're pulling off of that film in a couple years of actually damaging the paint underneath?
Yes and no. So basically what you have to think about if you're a consumer, and you might not know these terms, the paint that you get from the manufacturer is what's called OEM paint. For example, again, I work for Avery Dennison, and their warranty program is if it's OEM paint in good condition, that means no scratches and rock chips, they will 100% guarantee that if it's under 5 years old, OEM paint, good condition, when you take that wrap off, they will 100% cover the cost. Cool. But if it's been repainted, if there's damage on that wrap, or if it's older than 5 years, they can't warranty it, right?
We covered a lot. I mean, we covered some of like what you can do to extend the life of vinyl, how much it costs, different coverage options, different types of vinyl.
Yeah.
What else would a consumer want to know about vinyl before they get it on their vehicle, what do you think?
If you go to a wrap shop and there's dogs walking around and it's chaos and it's crazy and it's super dirty and hot and it's not climate controlled, that's another flag, okay? So, and basically you're gonna get what you pay for. The cheaper you go, the cheaper product you're gonna get. It's not like this magic thing. Number two is, you know, the wrap shop says it's $3,500, it's $3,500. But if you start kind of lowballing, you're creating friction with the person who's about to wrap your car, That's not a good way to start it. You don't go on Apple and say, when they say it's $1,400 for an iPhone, you don't start saying 12, right? Try to respect the person who's doing your job because they're professionals now.
I think we covered a lot of good things here. If you have any more questions, please leave them in the comment section down below and I'll do my best to answer them all for you. Or you can give us a call at Chicago Auto Pros and we'll answer any other questions that you have. But this is awesome, and I appreciate you taking the time out and like educating the consumers a little more about what vinyl is. Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers. See you next time.